Salam alaikum. Buen dia, buen dia. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings be to everyone here. Another day, another dollar making the donuts. Cold this morning. Wow. One day to another, bang. I mean, not freezing, but in the 60s already. You know, well, say 60 here on the barometer. I wanted to speak a little bit about let me think, because I had it in my mind before I turned on the camera. I wanted to speak about Kimbisa Malonga, right? Palo. And I know that a lot of people know this, but I want to reiterate and speak a little bit upon it because these days we're seeing a lot of new practitioners, you know, in Palo, and you know, and sometimes, you know, when you speak to a couple of these new practitioners that just come in the fold or whatever, you know, they have a lot of questions, you know, and it's hard to really explain certain things to people searching or coming to the fold, because at the end of the day, like I always say, if you looking for Palo and Kimbisa Malonga and you find someone, then you have to be under that elder, whether male or female, you know, for a while. You understand? Kimbisa Malonga is not something that you learn from a book. You know, this is the whole thing with this. There's a lot of books out there written by a lot of people about Palo, and when you really go into and start reading them, I'm going to be honest with you, the majority of them are junk. You might get a taste here or there of something, but nothing deep, nothing really, you know, how can I say, consistent or concise. You know, Palo is something that you have to learn off of someone else. Palo is not something you're going to learn from a book. And a lot of people have confused this because, you know, we know that the Santeria, Ifa, let's say, you know, Ocha, the proper word, there are many books out there. There are books even teaching about divination. There are books with the patakis. There are books with the Uduns. There are so many books, you know, from different either historians or practitioners, anthropologists. In English, there's a lot, you know, with Ifa the same, you know. But even with those things, even with having those books, right, from those other traditions, they give you a lot more. It's more open and broad for people to learn about. You still have to be under someone to really get taught properly, and to get taught the way their lineage does it. Because even in Ocha, there's also lineages. Give me 1 minute. You know, so what I'm trying to say is there's more information out there in Ifa and in Ocha than Palo. You know? And you could go online, whether it's accurate or not accurate, but you could go online and buy books on divination, on the system. They're not going to teach you completely, but there's a lot of things that you could learn. And you got to be careful because, you know, they say there are certain elders that don't like people that go getting into things and reading things they should not read because they're not initiated, they haven't gone through the proper ceremonies. So sometimes when you open up your mouth, you might get rejection, because you see, if you're not a babalao, you shouldn't be looking into Ifa stuff. You know, if you're not an oriate, an oba, then why you are looking into that type of stuff when you're not even initiated? So they look at this, they look at like they look at it like a disrespect, you know, because only people who have gone through the consecrations and through the initiations and are up to those levels are the ones that are being taught. Plus, they're being taught by the elder to the student, not by a book. But there are many books out there, like I said, and other traditions too. But Palo is very hard to find something that really gives you some information that you could chew and taste it, you understand, and apply it. It's very hard. So there's a lot of people out here that are buying books and they learning off of these books. They go online on Google and they put treaty to build let's say anything, any Nkisi, any Nganga, and they find these treaties online and they start building an Nganga with those treaties. Don't know what those treaties are about, don't know if they're valid. You don't even have licencia to even build an Nkisi, nothing, but they're doing it. And this is a dangerous thing to do, because just like all the other traditions, even though some of them have more information than others out there written in books, you have to go through the proper ceremony, you have to go through the proper routes to get to where you want to get. But nowadays, there's a lot of people jumping hoops, you know, saying, I don't need nobody to teach me. I don't need to have an elder. I don't need to be under anyone. And all they doing is learning from books and learning from the internet. From like here, from YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. They get all in these groups and they listen. And if they hear something, they write it down or they memorize it, and then they start implementing that. And this is a dangerous thing, because what happens with this is that if you don't know nothing about these people that are doing this, and these people are claiming to be tatas or yayas and gangas, and they so happen to have a name of their lineage that you, as a new practitioner or a person coming in, you don't really know what to look for. You're just looking for this spirituality because it interests you in a certain way, whichever way it may be. And here you get initiated under these people. They really don't have the right ceremonies or nothing done. You don't even know if they have a spirit in the Nkisi. What type of spirit is it? They themselves don't even know, but they make up certain trees, they make up certain initiations and certain things, and you go through all this and that, and now you are so-called initiated, and down the line, it's going to take you a little while before you can figure it out that you've been scammed. That's if your life doesn't go upside down or gets even worse after your initiation, that you don't notice that. You know, and I'm only saying this because they're out there. People in other states and other places that you never heard of. But they're going to be people that are going to bump into these type of people, and they're going to go through these things. And I'm not saying it's just in Palo. It's even in Ocha, it's in Ifa, it's in a lot of these ATRs and other traditions or religions. But for some reason, in Palo, it's becoming easier for a lot of scamming to happen. And it's not because the people they are scamming know what they're talking about. It's because the ignorance of the ones looking for help or looking for initiation or looking to be part of a community, you know, they don't really know what to look for. And sometimes it's very hard and difficult to find someone. Because if you don't know yourself, you don't know if what's correct, what's incorrect, what should be done, what not should be done, you know, it's very hard. So it's easier to get manipulated, it's easier to get scammed because of these things. Like I just said, Palo is taught on a one-to-one with your elder and with you in the Munanso, going with them, speaking with them, being around them. You know, Palo's not something that you just, I mean, you could pick up a book and read it, but, you know, don't take everything in them books like it's, you know, that's the way it is. Because we also have nuances and certain things that certain ramas do differently than others, and you have to understand all these things, and it's a conundrum. And I feel, because at one point in time I was this person. At one point in time I was this person that was getting scammed. At one point in time I didn't understand, I didn't know, and it took me a little while to really start understanding and recognizing what's what and what's not what. And like anything that you don't know or you never been introduced to or been around people who does it or have done it, you don't know till it's already done to you, you know, and you don't find out till time goes by. Give me 1 second. And the reason why I say, and I'm speaking about in Kimbisa and Palo, is because it's very easy for somebody to go buy a pot, go to Home Depot and buy a pot there too. They could buy a pot too from Home Depot, not a steel one, but they could go buy a pot and build it in Kimbisa. They could go get dirt and get sticks and build something that looks like an nganga. You understand? It's easy to fool somebody. So you have to be very careful, you know? And like I said, it's hard sometimes to really differentiate what's what and who's who, because you don't know how these traditions work. You see? I didn't know exactly what was Palo, what it constituted of, what's the tradition based on, what's all that. And I still don't know a lot of things. But I have had to go through a couple of situations where it has taught me a little more to really, really look for or give me the understanding what to search for, what to look, you know? And so forth and so on. You understand? And the same thing happens with when you go into to Ifa, to an Ifa priest or Babalao or whatever, one who claims to be one and is not. If you don't know what a Babalao practices and what they do, and you go and you get certain things to them, how are you gonna know if it's done right or wrong? It's gonna take time for you to understand and to see, and you're gonna have to speak to others, bump into others that are really, really true practitioners and have some morality that are going to tell you, no, that's not the way that is. Not because of the difference of lineage that they might do something a little bit different. No, what you have is nothing. It's garbage. Simple like that. Because one thing is to have something built a certain way because this lineage does it this way, then the other lineage or lineages. Another thing is to have something built that the most common and practical and the basis of it should be a certain way or certain with certain ingredients or certain procedures that have to go by, they all of them do, no matter what their little changes, but they still do it. That's the difference. Than to have something that's totally done with not even the basis of how these things are supposed to be conformed and built and so forth and so on. So you guys be very careful. They're out there. They're in social media. They're in all these platforms. They're in different states. And the reason why I made this video today is just to give you a little bit of light, even though I know you guys understand and you guys already should know. But it's being more and more, it's getting more and more like there's more scammers and more scammers. It's like getting bigger. You know, so watch it. Watch it out there. Be very careful. You know, really vet people out and ask and do your homework. Do your homework. That's all I could tell you. Do your homework. Palo, like I said, once again, I'm going to repeat it again. You're not going to learn it from a book. You're not going to learn it going online and learning some songs. You can learn all the mambos on YouTube, on Amazon, Prime, Music. Oh, there are a whole bunch out there. But if you notice, a lot of those mambos out there, you don't even know what the hell they're saying. But you're just going to sing them. Sometimes the performance and the theatrical things that people do make us feel that we are in the right place. Make things feel genuine. Because of what we hear and the performances. But at the end of the day, it's not the performance. You understand? At the end of the day is that the things were done correctly. You understand? So be safe, be blessed. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Share the videos, subscribe to the channel. Any questions, anything I can help you with, I don't charge to speak to people. You can reach me at w3qin1973@gmail.com. w3qin1973@gmail.com. Be blessed, be great. See you soon.